So the next topic is database views. Okay, so now we spoke a lot about reporting. So the database views concept is also widely useful only for reporting purpose. Okay, sometimes as part of your development, like you probably want to visualize the data from various tables. For example, now I have created a data, okay, in book table. Okay, for example, this is under my library application. Okay, under my library application, I have a book data, and then I also have you know like issues table. Okay, so the customer requirement here is, okay, now you are opening up a library issue. Okay, so the customer said, let's assume that if there is a issue with any book, so they want to understand what is that book is all about. So they want to capture the book information. So to do that, I have designed a small feature here. What I will do is I will relate I will create a reference field that will be reference to book information. So you can capture related to which book this library issue has been created. Okay. So let me just create one column here. Taking time, then longer. Okay. Now I want to quickly create a field using form configure, and this time I want to create a reference so that I can reference to another table. Okay, so I have created, oh, this is my book table, and I added it, and then let's show this right above issue. Okay, and then save. So this will tell me now I'm raising an incident or a issue related to a book, a specific book. For example, let's say I'm creating a case. Okay, this is related to book 1005, and then test it. Okay, test it and save it. So now the case is related to book 1005. So similarly, like if I want to create another case, okay, what I will do is I'll create for testing purpose, I'll create another record. Okay. Let me open up. Why to waste time from here? Go to library and create a new issue. And I'm trying to create another issue related to the, okay, assign this one to, this time this is related to 1007. Test, test. Okay. So I created. Now my customer requirement is, okay, now if you are reporting, okay, now when you are taking a report, okay, what are you doing? So here in the report section, okay, in the report section, you can go to this view or create a report. Under your create report, what you can do is you can create a report either on as one table, like you at any point in time, you can create a data based on only one table only, right? So here, okay, book issues, book related issues. Okay, now we want to capture book related issues. So you want the data from book as well as issues. So here either I can select when I'm saying like data source, either I can select book or or library issue. Okay, so either one of the table only I can select it. Okay, I cannot select both the tables at a time. But for some reason you want to have a data to be displayed from both the tables. Okay, this is the condition. So in such scenarios, what you do is, okay, you will create a database views. Okay, particularly for reporting purpose. But from the front end, if you want to share the data through the export, that's a different way of doing it. Now, particularly on the reporting front, okay, what I you have a dynamic reports that you need to do. So then, like the best way is to create a database views. Okay, you can create a view and you can use that view to pick up the data from two different tables. Okay, go to system definitions and go to the database views, go to system definition and go to database views. Okay, and here I want to display the data from two different tables. Okay, so book and issues. So this is what I want to capture. So book related issue. So you want to label it. Okay, we need data from two different tables. Okay, book and library issue table. So this is what you need. Now save this. After saving it, this feature will allow you to define what are those tables and what is the condition between these two to relate. Okay, if you want to relate two different people, there should be some parameter that will be bridging these two tables, right? So now first define first table. The first table is let's say the first table can be library issues table. You know, we rarely use this feature, but I want you to be aware of it. What is this feature is all about? Because sometimes if the report demand comes up, you need to know how to do this. At least if you have an idea, you will be able to take it later. So now this is, I will say line, L line. You know, for this particular table, I'm giving a prefix that I will be using in my conditions. So I'll talk about this where class in a moment. Okay, now I have defined my first table. And then what is the other table that I want to pull in? Book table, right? So the other table is book. Okay. For book, I will say BK. Okay. And then I will say this is a 200 order. So I'm giving like the first one is 100 and then second one is a 200 so that you will visualize them based on the priority the system will go. Now I want to show the issues. I want to show the library issues where library issues are related to book. And at the same time, I also wanted to visualize the book information. That is my objective. So the condition here is, okay, the condition here is, so I want to see the book related information. What is the relation between this library table and then book? In the book, whenever I'm selecting a record, my question to you guys, what will be the data will be stored here? In the reference field, when I'm selecting a value, what is the data will be structured here? You will actually store the entire object of that particular record. So that is why you are seeing the entire data. So to facilitate that, ServiceNow would store the sys ID of this particular table. Okay, every record in the ServiceNow system is attached with one sys ID. I explained to you at the beginning. So to facilitate that, the ServiceNow would store the sys ID of that particular record. Now in this case, 1005 sys ID will be stored in this particular field. So my condition would be, okay, the current library table field book is equal to sys ID of that particular record. Okay, book information. So what is I'm storing? The sys ID of this book is stored in the field of library table. This is what I'm storing. So let me just draft it here. Then I will convert it to code. So current table book field, current table book field contains, okay, sys ID of, okay, contains sys ID of, this is coming from which table? Book table. Okay, sys ID of book table. So if I'm converting it, so what is the current table in this case? This is library issues table. Okay, this is library issues table. Okay, library issues table. What is the field here? Okay, this is the field. Okay, u underscore book. U underscore book is equal to what I'm saying. Like right now, this is the book table. Backend is also the table name is the book. If you probably can open it up if you are not really confident. So open, and if you go to this one, this is the table name. Okay, this is the table name, and I'm capturing sys ID of this particular table. Okay, and as I said, every record is entitled with sys ID. Now You can see this is the sys. The sys of this record is this one. The sys of this particular record is this is the sys of that particular record. Now, when I said while I'm seeing this 1005, a visual representation in the library issues table, though I am seeing 1005 as a visual representation, but the actual value that is stored here is this one. The actual value that is stored here is this one. Please remember this. Reference fields always capture sysID. You will actually recall this particular topic when I'm talking about scripting. When we move on to the scripting, you will use this concept very widely. Okay, so please remember always whatever is the value which is displayed here, but in fact the content will be always sysID. For example, let us say tomorrow my customer says you are showing the book number, right? So book number is not giving me a better picture of what data to be displayed here. So to change, you can change it in the table property. You can go to this is the book table, okay, and this is the book table, and go to configure, table. So during whenever you are using referencing, so according to your column, there is a feature called display true. Okay, there is a feature called display true. Now check to false. So there is one feature which will be display true. Now for my requirement, I want to make this book name is always should be displayed in my reference field for this particular table. This is a table level definition. If you change one time in the table, wherever this table is referenced, everywhere it will be impacted. So you have to make sure what you are doing. Now come to your table, or let's say library issues table. Okay, now this is showing me 1005, right? Reload it. Okay, reload it and then go to this particular one and select some book information. Now it is showing me the book name. So why, how come it is saying? Because for ServiceNow, it is just the visual representation. In fact, it is storing the entire object of this record in the sysID format. That is why in my scripting, whenever I'm trying to put it in my condition, this is what I'm doing. Now come to take this to your view definition. Bring it to your view definition. Where are we doing that? Our view is right now here. Okay, this is the view where we are defining. So what we are trying to achieve, this is what we are trying to achieve. So this condition should be here. This condition should be here. So in your requirement, what you have prefixed, okay, just to eliminate your long scripts. So what we said is for library issues, we have prefixed it like lib. So I will change it to, sorry, for a library, yeah, lib. For a book, we prefixed it to bk. Okay, and the sysID should be coming from sys_id. So I need to follow the conventions. This is a case sensitive, so sysID. So this is my simple condition. What I will do is I will put it in my where condition here. This is my where condition. Okay, if you open this particular record and whatever I just have, or else, okay, it is not, it is saying it is not saved, it is saved. So this is the where condition. What I'm saying, I said I'll talk about it, right? So what I'm now saying is go to this table and also check for this sysID wherein the book information is available. Bring that data also. Now you created a perfect view. Okay, now based on this particular view, okay, when the view has gone, open the views. Okay, sort it. The latest view that I created will come up here. So now view has come up and you can try it what kind of data this is going to be saying. There is a syntax error. It is saying library book. Okay. Access rule. Okay. This is related to the access issue. Right now, reason is when I'm trying to do that, we do not have access required accesses, to filter out this particular data. So all that particular things are there. So that is why, this did not give me. Let me just quickly remove those access issues. So book table. If you look into this book table, okay. So this is the table, and now go to configure table. Okay. And you have 4 ACLs created. I just want to see whether they are available for administrators to, okay, admin override, admin override, admin override, admin override. Okay, let's open up. So if we have an admin override, which means admin can do that. And right now I logged into the system as an administrative user. Okay. Now LIB. Remove this. Okay. Before executing it, try it. Okay. At least like, now this is pulling the data from both the tables. Okay. You can actually add all the fields from both the tables. At least this is doing now. Now, okay, let me add the condition. When we are adding the condition, it is giving me an error. Okay, open up. LIB, okay, is equal to, actually not required, pk.sysid. And actually this what it is saying is, okay, just, if there is a syntax error.
I think we have to give a u underscore book is given, right? Library issue. Lib underscore lib dot.
Yeah, correct. No, there is nothing wrong in this. Actually, there is a syntax conversion it is saying. Okay. Uh, let me, sorry, let me just get the syntax from the documents. Because earlier, like, this was my SQL. Now, in the service now, like, they were using database views. Every single thing will be here. So let's get the latest condition. Just I want to get the latest syntax here. Views. Go to view creation. Can just we provided it. Add a table. We have done that. Okay. See? That's what. So this is like, latest syntax. Okay. Now, save it. The syntax format. Okay. You just have to go see now. You can see there are only 2 records wherein we have a book related. Okay. So it's a syntax issue. Okay. According to the MariaDB in the latest version of the San Diego. So that's why like where we need to read some of the latest release documents. So it's a minor syntax issue. So now we corrected it. It is fixed. Okay. So whenever you have a problem, like you can always go back to docs. So you can refer and close this. But let's come back to our requirement. Okay. So now if you go to library issues and search where book is not equal to null. Okay, now I see 2 records are displaying. So, but I want to test it whether we have only 2 records where book is related or not. Go to your individual table. This is my all request table. I can check. I can I can test it where book is not equal to null. Okay, add condition for testing purpose where where book name is not empty. Okay, run. I see only records. So my test is good. Now I have the data. So what we will do is we will use that particular data in our reporting. Now, when I'm trying to create a new report, okay, I can go now, report. Go to reports and create a new report. Under the new report, now you can see the latest database view that we created also will be represented here. Okay, report based on new view. Okay, so this is what we are trying to say. I'm just giving a random name. Now you select problem. What is that new name that we provided? What is that new name that we provided? Okay, let's go back and database views. Okay, this is the name that we created. You can check for that particular name. Now you can see that new view that we created. You can report based on that. Now you will have data. All the data that you created will be properly comes up here. So this is how you will join two or more tables according to your requirement, and you will use them your reports. Okay, but when it comes to the scripting, we really not required. Like if you want to get into a particular table and get some information based on that, you want to do certain parameters, all that stuff you don't have to worry, because in the scripting we will talk about dot working. Okay, that piece we will be able to take care of. But in your reports where you want to publish these reports, schedule the reports, at that point in time you want to pull the data from various tables, two tables or three tables. To avoid the performance, you can create a database view and then you can consume your views in your reporting. Okay, so database views are primarily for joining two different tables using your where class. It's very simple. In summary, when you are creating a database table, all you need to do is step one, you create a database view name. Step two, you provide tables that you want to include in your database view creation. Step three, you give them a prefixes. Step four, you add a condition. That's it. You will have your view ready. You can use it in your reports. Is this clear, Hemant?
Yes.
Okay. So is it clear, Rani, Subbarao, Chaitanya? Any
Yes,
questions?
sir.
Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so please practice it once, as we just create a issue table and then create a book or whatever the table that you want to, and let's try joining them, and just please do avoid the mistake that I have done. Instead of dot, you have to use underscore, so that you will have the report ready. Okay. So with this, if you have no questions, so we are good with these database views, right? Okay. Can you try it now, or what will be your take?